Here we go, first video. Hey everyone, and welcome to Pirate Tech. My name's Jay, and welcome to our very first video. Hooray! So why are you here? Well, I hope you're here to hear me waffle on about this guy. This is the Boya PVM 1000 Condenser Shotgun Microphone. Something that claims to be broadcast quality and a load of other stuff that really makes no difference. And this goes on to my very first kind of point, and hopefully a theme that's going to run through all these kind of videos. And I'm not going to spend very long on it at all, but it's going to go like this. There are channels out there that do reviews that go on about kind of impedance and frequency response and all this, that, and the other. A very simple Google search can usually solve those kind of questions and answers that really don't ever come up ever again. They're all very generalized. I think it's far more beneficial for you guys and just for me to kind of cram more information in that actually matters, not to really spend too much time on that. So that's going to be kind of an ethos of this channel. I'm glad we got that out of the way. We can move on. This is basically supposed to be designed specifically to work with DSLR cameras, like the camera that I used to record this video right here, which is the Panasonic GX8. And I also have a Panasonic VXFM 990, I think it is, which is a 4K camcorder. This is specifically made to help with that, although you can also use it through things like film recorders, like what I use here, which is the Zoom H6, which is what I'm recording my audio through now, or maybe the Tascam, any of the Tascam range, maybe the 60 or the 40. It should work with that absolutely fine. It is an XLR microphone. This is the microphone, although you don't get this stand with it. You get everything kind of beyond this point and everything else that I'll show you in the actual box itself. So it is a very standard kind of shotgun microphone kind of layout. It is super cardioid, so specifically what it's supposed to do is isolate the sound coming directly towards the actual capsule here at the top of the microphone. So what it should do is reject audio kind of around the sides and the back. Now this is condenser, so it is fed with 48 volts. That's either done via phantom power through your film recorder or audio device, or like a lot of these kind of microphones, this does actually come with the capacity to take one AA battery. What that does is that gives it the 48 volts that it needs in order to actually power this microphone. So if you're using it out and about and you're putting it into your DSLR or your camcorder or whatever camera you wish to use, you don't have to worry about it needing extra power to work. It does come supplied with a XLR to 3.5mm jack. Me personally, I wouldn't prefer to record that way, but again, this is, as it is advertised, supposed to be able to record specifically with the 3.5mm jack that you find on most DSLR and camcorders. Bit of an ASMR moment there. In the actual box itself, you get a very nice leather carry case. Well, I say leatherette carry case. A good point to actually talk about the price real quickly. This cost me, I got this actually from eBay, so this is used. This cost me £32. I see them roughly between 40 and 60 depending on where you go to, but generally kind of in the middle is where you'll kind of find. In here you will find said documentation that will clear up all the kind of gubbins about supercardioid patterns, its frequency response range, how to install batteries, and the kind of stuff that comes with it. There's a handy little diagram that tells you on there. On the actual microphone itself, you have off switch, obviously, then you have on, and you have a handy little green light that will tell you when it's on. And then if you are in a particularly noisy environment, whether it be AC, fan, or general rumble noise, you can engage the 80 hertz. That's the last kind of technical bit of stuff that I'm going to go through. The 80 hertz high pass filter, which will help block that out. But we'll get into that a little bit further on into the actual video. So in your leatherette carrying pouch, you will find a dead cat. Not an actual dead cat, but this is what we generally call things like this. This is to kind of help if you're on location and you've got high wind. This kind of helps diffuse that at the expense of a little bit of kind of frequency response, but it doesn't matter about that right now. You also have this kind of foam overlay, oversert, whatever you want to call it, sheath, condom, as you will, which basically protects it from general kind of plosives that you might actually come across. So obviously, like the big boy mics like this, or with the field recorder that you can't see around here, that I've got one on there, it's just an extra barrier of defense. Again, you do lose a little bit of quality using that, so if you can use it like that, I would suggest doing it, but the environment dictates, so if you can't get away with it, you can't get away with it. So you get many sheaths. You also get a 3.52 XLR, which I'll show off because I can't find it at this moment in time. It's around here somewhere. When I do the test on the actual camcorder, you'll actually see on there. You get a little baggie that has extra rings, because on this you have one very good feature of it is that you have these kind of bands that go across it, and what that does is that helps take any knocks and bumps. If you've got it on a camera, or the camera kind of gets jolted around, it's going to absorb that kind of shock, and also stop maybe a little bit of rattle or handling noise when you're doing that, which is always handy. You also get a 3.5 1/4mm jack input, so that's handy if you have something that has like a combo jack, where it can take an XLR cable and or an actual 1/4 inch. And again, that it's good to have something that is kind of multifaceted and can connect to various different things. The fact that this XLR is brilliant, and I suppose we should talk about why you might want this. And apologise about my shiny forehead, but unfortunately it's very, very warm here. It's like midnight almost, and it's decided to get very hot, although it's kind of autumn time now. Who does this kind of go towards? Well, he says, clicking across to his cheat sheet. I'm glad you asked. Although you didn't ask, I'm going to tell you anyway. So, we all know, or we should know, that audio generally from cameras sucks. In actual fact, I am now, this part of the video is being, you are purely getting the wonderfully disgusting audio that comes out of my GX8 over there. Back to normal audio. So when you actually, if you create content for YouTube, if you're doing kind of these kind of talking head videos, or even if you're out and about, if you're a run and gun kind of filmmaker or creator or influencer, whatever you want to call it, you want to kind of update, or you want to, one of the major things you want to do is to actually upgrade your audio. Because it's all very well and good if you have like a not so good image, but if your audio sounds trash as well, people are not going to stick around. Me personally, I will always put up with poorer quality video than I would do poorer quality audio, but that's a preference to myself. So what this does, at this kind of price level, it puts itself very firmly next to the Rode Video Micro. But I would say you're going to get far better quality from this to a point, and also this is going to allow you to grow a lot more. So say if you're just using it directly for your camera, and then you upgrade to kind of a field recorder, like one of the Zoom recorders or Tascam or whoever, generally speaking, you're not really going to be able to take advantage of that Video Micro anymore. So having something like this is going to be able to go through with you no matter what kind of, as long as it's an XLR, you can use this with an audio interface like a Scarlett 2i2 or a PreSonus audio box or a Go XLR. This gives you a lot more versatility in the kind of audio that you capture. It's also great for interviews. So being able to kind of isolate this and have it pointed directly at a source is a great thing, because you pick up enough of your surrounding to have like a nice kind of ambient sound to your audio, but it rejects a lot of kind of intrusive sounds, so you can really focus on what you're trying to capture in an audio sense. Now, the problem with using something like this with like a DSLR or a camcorder is that you tend to find that preamps, especially in DSLRs, aren't that great and tend to be very, very sensitive. So you usually have to turn them all the way down. Now, On my Panasonic GX8, I had to turn this literally to its lowest level. It only has kind of 3 settings anyway. With the camcorder has a lot more adjustability with its actual audio, and I adjusted it to -6 dB. So that basically gave me enough headroom that I wasn't kind of clipping all over the place, but I could capture still a very clean kind of input. Now, it's always good to see when a microphone has a high-pass filter. High-pass filter, like I said, basically allows you to kind of block out the lower-end frequencies. Now, one of the problems or the pitfalls with this is it tends to kind of shred out your presence. It strips back the kind of deep notes in your voice that give you that presence. High end is what gives you clarity in the way that you speak, and the low end gives you that kind of I'm here, which is why you have kind of like broadcast and radio mics that really emphasize that low end. Now, it can be brought back in post-processing, so if you're using something like Audacity or Adobe Audition or Reaper, you can add kind of a bit more bass back into it. You can use some EQ and compression and then bring it back out. So you don't have to worry about that, but it's always good. Again, it's a versatile element to you being able to capture audio that normally you might have to kind of compensate by going, okay, this is going to sound a bit crap because I've got like my computer's making a ton of noise, or I'm on location, there's people talking in the background. You don't want to kind of pick that up. So that's always handy to have. What we've done is, this is raw audio. So this is coming directly from the Boya, going into my Zoom H6. And we're getting peaks of around about -12 dB. So that's kind of the threshold. So that's basically the top end of the volume that's coming out of your mouth is hitting about -12 dB. That gives me headroom to actually adjust it in post to make sure that it all sounds absolutely fine. I've got no problems with hitting clipping or distortion. Nowhere near that actual kind of line in the sound. So this is how it sounds. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to engage the high pass filter. So what this is going to do is it's going to let you hear how this sounds raw, and then what it sounds like when you've got that 80 Hz high pass filter kind of blocking out the lower register of the audio. Okay, so this is me now speaking with the high pass filter engaged. As you can tell, a lot of the bass out of my voice has been removed. Now again, what I'm going to do about, I don't know, now what I've done is I've actually done a bit of post-processing, added a bit more of those lower frequencies back into my voice. So you can now hear what it sounds like once we've actually put it through a bit of a process. Yes, it does sound quite thin, but there's a reason for that. It's worthwhile doing this if you've got a lot of kind of background hum, maybe traffic or a lot of other things in the background. It's a really useful feature and something that is really good to have on this microphone. This is the Boya PVM 1000 plugged directly into my Panasonic VX or VFX 990, whatever it is. It's a 4K Panasonic camcorder, essentially. And I'm acting like I'm doing stuff just to kind of give you kind of... So this is how this sounds connected directly into the actual camcorder. Now, like I said before, I've set this to -6 dB. So basically what that is it gives me the headroom so I know I'm not going to be clipping. Now I am mindful, I haven't got the actual foam and I'm about 7-8 inches away from the actual microphone. It is quite sensitive, so I do have to be kind of careful with my P's and my P's and T's. So what I'm going to do now again is I'm going to engage the high pass filter just so you can actually hear what it sounds like going through into the actual camcorder. Again, the brilliant thing about this is that it carries its own battery, so it provides its own phantom power, so you don't have to worry about it draining the battery of your actual camcorder or your DSLR. It's not going to do that. It has all that on board, and believe me, the battery will last an absolute age. Unless you forget to turn it off, and then it will last until the next time you use it and realise that the battery's flat again. I'm just going to give you a quick kind of rundown of the off axis, what it actually sounds like when I'm actually speaking not directly into it. So at the moment it's pointed directly, it's pointed towards the actual camera. So, and then turn it back around again so it's pointed directly at my mouth. And this is what it sounds like. So just to give you an idea of if there's stuff going on around, how well will it be able to cope with rejecting that kind of noise? Okay, so there you have it. This is how it sounds. Personally, would I recommend this? For the price, absolutely. I think you get a good enough product at the end of it, whether you're using it through your camcorder, through your DSLR, or if you're using it as for a field recorder or an actual interface. I think if you just want to be able to plug it in, level it off, and then record and not have to worry too much about it, you can get away with that. But I think as well as it being a versatile mic that can kind of grow with your kit, I think it actually help you grow as a kind of producer. So what I would be looking for with this is kind of experimenting with it, putting it in different places, different gain levels, and then looking back and going through the processing within your kind of DAW, whether it be Reaper or Audition or Audacity or whatever you actually use, and actually fine-tuning it in post-production, because that's really when you take your kind of content to the next level, that's where you kind of want to aim for. It's awesome if you're able to just press record everything off, do a light trim edit on it, and then put it up to YouTube or put it out to wherever. In an ideal world, that'd be fantastic. But when you want to kind of step up that quality level, you have to be a little bit more intensive in the post-processing, whether it be adjusting and making sure the color's fine in the actual camera, and just as much emphasis should be put into actually making your audio sound as good as humanly possible. This has a pretty noisy sound floor. So no matter what I put it through, where I put it through the camera, when I put it through my Zoom H6, when I put it through my Go XLR, I could not get it really staged that well. But with a little bit of processing, you can pretty much eliminate that. And at the end of it, you've actually got a really good usable audio that really complements any kind of content that you create. So I would absolutely recommend this to anyone that's kind of wanting to upgrade their sound game, for want of a better description. And that's pretty much it. So thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. If you liked it, please drop us a like. Subscribe if you'd like to. We're going to be doing a lot more videos. The emphasis of this is, and really what the channel is about for me, is yes, it's great to be on the bleeding edge of technology, but I think the problem with that is that you tend to pass by a lot of bits of audio and video equipment that are completely usable, would completely make your content go to that next level, 2 levels, 3 levels, whatever you want to call it, and not break the bank, with a few tips and tricks. And that's kind of what I want to do with this. I want to kind of bring you products that necessarily you wouldn't think about. Because whenever someone mentions I'm looking for a new camera, you automatically get the same response of like the Sony A7s, Canon, and there's always kind of go-tos. Microphones, people always, especially when it comes to live streaming, go on about like the AT2020s, the Blue Yetis, and there's so many products out there that you wouldn't think about that could actually make your product sound way better for way less with a little bit of tinkering around. That's not for everybody. Some people don't like that, and I get that, but I'm a bit of a tinkerer, so this is why I'm here. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe if you'd like to. Give us a thumbs up if you do. If you didn't like it, thumbs down. I'm a grown man. I can take the criticism. Drop a comment below what you want to see me do next. I'm going to be doing a lot of reviews, reactions, and tutorials. Everything from kind of getting better quality out of your video to definitely getting better audio out of your microphones and the equipment you have around you. But anyway, I've spoken enough. I'm going to shut up now. Go have a long lie down and turn my fan back on because I'm sweltering. But thanks for sticking around. I'll see you next time. My name's Jay, and we're Pirate Tech. Catch you later.